Hey everyone, welcome back to the Nature's Calls podcast. As always, I am your host, Nature Erdman, and I'm at a loss for words right now. What a hell of a win. Hell of a win to pull out today. I really thought that I was a little more confident going into this game than I think a lot of people were. I knew the Broncos could definitely give us a little bit of a test. Um, but obviously with their defensive struggles against the Colts and things like that, I had a little bit of hope for upside. And our defense, for the most part, held up. Actually, it had some struggles along the way. We'll talk about that at some point. But Justin Herbert putting on his Superman cape after struggling for 2.5 quarters in the middle there. We started off okay in the first quarter, and then things derailed and fell apart quickly. Injuries. Rest in peace, Najee Harris. The offensive line struggling and getting injured, the secondary having tons of issues, and we just couldn't move the ball effectively. We just absolutely couldn't. Their coverage was incredibly sticky. I want to say that we had issues getting open. Um, but it was really just excellent defense. It was exactly what we've been doing to people for the last couple of weeks. And I'm sure when I go back and watch a little bit more film, I'll see some probably missed opportunities and be able to be a little bit more nitpicky. But just watching the live broadcast and my reactions from that, I just didn't see anybody getting open. We had difficulty all over the place. But Justin Herbert made every single right decision and every single right throw in those final two drives and made snatched victory out of the claws of defeat, which we've been doing the opposite for what feels like my entire life as a Chargers fan. So I just a hell of a win. Just a hell of a win. The Chiefs game was we knew we had to get ahead and maintain that lead. You have to get up 2 scores on Patrick Mahomes and hold that lead. And we did. And the Raiders game was never really in question on whether we would lose it or not. This game was entirely different. This game, from the moment before the first half, from really the Najee injury, everything just looked rough. Rough. We had people going in and out of the offensive line. A lot of people didn't ever make it back in. Mekhi Becton ended up being evaluated for a concussion. We had struggles on the offensive side of things. Pat Surtain was kind of shadowing all over. He wasn't shadowing anybody. He was flowing all over the place and always in the right spot. I just I didn't see this game coming. I didn't expect us to struggle that much on offense, both running and throwing the football for the majority of the game. But props to Greg Roman and props to Justin Herbert and props to this team for how they pivoted and were able to make some magic happen and end up pulling out the win. Man, I'm just excited. I'm just excited. I want to be super analytical right now, but I can't. I'm just pumped. I'm just thrilled to see this victory in a game that I really thought we had lost. So 3-0, 2 games ahead of everybody in our division with tiebreakers over all of them as of right now, and really in the driver's seat. And some of those games in the back half of that season that were looking almost impossible or really difficult at least, now all of a sudden look a little bit more winnable with our team the way that it is right now. The Commanders struggles, the Texans obvious struggles. Like, you look at the whole season outlook now, and we could win every single game. Now, are we going to go have a perfect season? No, probably not. That's not what I'm trying to say here. But there's no team in the NFL that I look at and I'm like, we can't beat them. Especially if we get healthy. Like, the Ravens are a buzzsaw and the Bills are terrifying, but the Bills are a one-man offense and the Ravens have shown that they can be beat. Um, go, go Chargers, baby. Let's fucking go. So let's talk. Let's start going position group by position group here. So Justin Herbert. Can't say enough about him. Can't say enough about him. That touchdown to Keenan Allen, breaking the tackle, rolling out to his left, just a dot to Keenan where only Keenan could catch it. Props to Keenan for making the catch, too. That was such a difficult, high-quality throw, incredibly low catch probability. But Keenan Allen, being old faithful, Mr. Trustworthy down there in the end zone, just absolutely a clutch grab. It feels so good to have him home. But Justin Herbert really put the team on his back today. He was the one who was special. He had obviously a hard time. It wasn't his best completion percentage. The interception that wasn't his fault. Only one passing touchdown. I'm sure it won't be his best PFF grade. But but he was special, and he was special when it mattered most. And I'm just so thrilled that he's our quarterback. I think he passed for 300 yards, right at 300 yards, one touchdown, one pick. Did struggle for 2.5 quarters, but the whole team struggled for 2.5 quarters. Part of that on him, part of it not on him. And the props to the Broncos defense for giving us such a hard time today. But pour yourself one out, Justin Herbert. You deserve it tonight. Um, yeah, the Najee injury really hurts. Um, I think everybody saw it on the live broadcast. I think they've officially announced that it's an Achilles. I don't think that they've officially announced that it's torn, but it's a torn Achilles. And I think he knew it the moment he took that step, just going to get that initial burst out of the backfield before he even grabbed the ball. It wasn't even a handoff, but we got the first down. I was so excited, and then I heard the announcement of just them being like, "Oh no!" Immediately click back a couple clicks, and sure enough, he plants that foot into the ground and goes to give it a little bit of juice, and just crumbles right to the ground, grabbing that back of that leg. So I think everybody in the stadium saw it and felt it and heard it. I think almost every single viewer saw it happen. Like, it was, everybody knew that was not one that was very questionable. And so, obviously, it's going to hurt for this year. We need some depth behind Amari and Hampton. I still truly believe that I didn't want Amarian carrying all of the load in the first place. Now I sure as heck think we have to. I don't know what else you can do. You have to use him as a bell cow. There's no one out there that I would go trust to do this. I think if you go trade for somebody, then yeah, you can get a little bit more of a 1-2 punch going. But I just don't think Kamani Vidal, even elevated off the practice squad, gives us any extra juice. I mean, Hassan Haskins can do a little bit. From a power rush standpoint, but it gets us really thin at that position really fast. Rocket Sanders, what are you doing? Come leave Cleveland. They don't need you over there. They got too many mouths to feed as is. So, yeah, rough injury. Rough to see it happen to such a good dude who had just kind of made the recovery from the eye injury. You wonder how much lack of conditioning and summer and everything else played into it, or was it just a freak accident that was going to happen no matter what? But it's brutal to see, and I wish him all the best, and I hope that this affects his livelihood, and that's why it sucks, because he was on a 1-year deal that was very incentive based. Guaranteed money wasn't that heavy, and I really hoped that he was going to kind of have a J.K. Dobbins type of season where it's like, yeah, you can ball out even part of a 1-2 backfield and go make himself some money next year, and it just sucks from a person standpoint to see him go down like that. So wish him nothing but the best. On the other hand, the rookies today, starting off with Amari and Hampton, balled out. Balled out. I mean, obviously his rushing production wasn't phenomenal. I don't remember what his yards per carry were, but I'm pretty sure it was under 4 yards per carry. But his runs were aggressive. The Broncos defense was pretty smothering. The run blocking obviously was not great today, and he made, like, they all looked like good runs outside of a couple in there. And really good progress after what we've seen for the first 2 weeks so far. 129 total yards, though, if you include his receiving production, which is fantastic, on 25 total touches. 5 catches on 7 targets, I believe. But really impressed, I guess more so from Greg Roman, in regards to his usage. Like, we just have not effectively thrown the ball to a running back since Eckler was in his prime a few years ago. And not only that, this wasn't entirely just Justin Herbert hitting the dump off, hitting the safety valve in there. Like, these were designed like running back receptions, which I just feel like just has never happened. Like, the screen passes in Greg Roman's offense just has not been a thing. And so getting that implemented into the offense when we were struggling so heavily at getting the ball to the wide receivers, finding a way to attack the defense in a way that would actually function for us was just really refreshing to see. A pivot mid-game like that, attacking those linebackers. And I'm sure some of it was included in the game plan, because we knew that their corners were going to be so excellent and their defensive pressure up the front is so excellent that you have to do something to attack the kind of weakest spot in that defense, which doesn't really seem like it had a lot of weaknesses today. But those linebackers were able to be exploited, both from the tight ends, which we'll get to in a second, and from the running backs. And so getting them involved in the passing game, and just seeing them take that angle and it works so effectively. And Omari and Hampton really being able to show off his juice as a pass catcher and in pass protection. Like I just so thrilled. So it's such a weight off my shoulders seeing that portion of the game start to get included. And we're rounding out this offense into such a more effective unit that can beat teams in multiple ways, which was my biggest concern last year. Is we were built for a specific brand of football, and I think a lot of people thought we were going to go lean into that specific brand of football again this year, and we very clearly not. Like we're Justin Herbert is Jim Harbaugh gets woken up at night trying to figure out how he's going to get Justin Herbert into the Hall of Fame. That was his offseason quote. And it feels like that's true. Like that does not feel like BS at this point. Like that is the way that they are calling plays out here. It is designed to allow Justin Herbert to lead this team in whatever way he sees fit. That's the way that we're playing. That's our brand of football right now. And oh my God, is it working? I Let's go, boys. Um, the other rookie I wanted to highlight was obviously Rondé Gadsden. I know a lot of people were really hyped on him this offseason. I thought it was going to be a later season breakout. Apparently, his coming out party was today. Tyler Conklin, I think, is a solid veteran, and I really thought I thought he'd be performing better at this point. He hasn't been as involved in the offense as I kind of expected him to be, so I'm not really surprised after the first 2 weeks to see Rondé Gadsden get a little bit of run today. I am surprised at 7 targets. If you had on your bingo card that Rondé Gadsden would get as many targets as Ladd McConkey, you would have been a lot closer than me. I did not expect that today. But 5 catches for 46 yards, and every single one of those yards was absolutely critical. Back-to-back targets on incredibly critical drives, third down connections. He just looked the part out there. We'll see how he does at blocker, but we run so much. We run a lot of two tight ends, and I think that we're going to continue to. I think that it was always 2 and 2. So you had your 2 pass catching capable tight ends in Conklin and Gadsden, and your 2 blocking focused tight ends in Fisk and Disley. Now, obviously, there's going to be a little bit of crossover. The other guys are going to catch balls and things like that. But that felt like the construction side of the team. That felt like how we were putting it together. And I think after Rondé's performance today, you're going to see a very even timeshare and a lot more Rondé Gadsden usage instead of Tyler Conklin. Will you see Conklin and Gadsden on the field at the same time sometimes? Yeah. Is it going to happen a whole lot? Probably not. I don't expect it to. But just a phenomenal performance. The chemistry felt not even a little bit, a lot more natural with Justin Herbert, which makes sense based on everything we've heard through the offseason and everything else. So, was really surprised from a rookie to just keep his composure and play as well as he did. Just the game didn't look too fast for him, which is huge for a rookie coming in. And tight ends, especially mid to late round tight ends, like they typically take a little bit of time. And he might still in the blocking side of things and the scheme side of things and the running game and everything else, but from a pass catcher perspective, which is what we brought him in here to do, he looked fantastic. Like what a first game. Just critical cog part of the offense. Like he looks like he belongs in this offense, and what that's going to do for us, and what we can put out on the field, especially if this offensive line is a little bit more injured than I'm hoping for, is huge. Huge. Welcome to the NFL party for Rondé Gadsden. I hope you're enjoying yourself tonight and clutch win in front of the home crowd. Which we had a decent showing today, but there's definitely a lot of orange in that crowd. So, again, a lot of reasons to not keep your composure, and the rookies did a hell of a job today. Talk about Quentin Johnston as well. Just another guy on the offense who really deserves his flowers. The contested catch over Pat Surtain in the back, right there on like the 2-yard line, was phenomenal. Just high pointed it, got his hands on it. Everything that we've seen Quentin not do in the past, and the usage overall, and not shying away from the moment. Like it's just he's leading this team in receiving, and that's not going to go anywhere. Like, do I think he ends the season leading the team in receiving? Probably not, but he is a critical piece of this offense right now, and he's not shying away from it. He looks fantastic. Just absolutely the physical threat that we drafted him to be, his usage, not just running straight down the field. Like the playbook's completely different. Like specifically for Quentin, which makes me so happy after complaining about it for so many weeks and months and videos that I've made complaining about the Quentin Johnson usage, and I've beaten it up enough times that I'm not going to dive into it a lot right now. But Greg Roman, like you talk about having a second year in a system, this isn't even the same system. These are completely different plays. Like was last year for shits and giggles? Like there's Jim and Greg Roman seem to be such sick, twisted individuals in a good way that I almost wonder, like, did they run a different offense last year for funsies, just so nobody would see this coming? Because they're not even us as fans. Like, it's not just the national media who speaks out of their ass all the time, and regular NFL fans who aren't necessarily Chargers fans. Like, we didn't see this coming. This doesn't make any sense. It still doesn't. I'm so here for it, though. I'm just enjoying the show, but yeah, just a completely different team, completely different look on offense. Um, and Quentin Johnston has really been shining. Um, I know I've posted about this in the past. There are very few receivers that have had kind of the slow development, especially with the mental hurdles and how much fan backlash and everything else. Like it's a lot to tackle, and there's very few who have bounced back from it. Jerry Rice being one of them, which is one that he likes to be talked about. Like people like to talk about a lot. He figured out a little bit faster than QJ, but Devontae Adams struggled mightily for 2 years, and all the fans had turned on him, and look who he turned into be. So Quentin Johnston's resurgence. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. And like I said, we don't need him to be an alpha wide receiver one. We need him to be exactly what he's being right now. And if you have enough talent elsewhere on the field, you someone has to get open. And right now it's QJ. You want to lock down Lad? Someone else to get open. You got to start locking down QJ. Just watch Lad eat towards the end of the year. It's going to be a thing of beauty. It's going to be glorious. Um, yeah, and then let's might as well stick with the offense. Let's talk a little bit about Keenan because I can't believe we almost went into the season without him. I really can't. And maybe that's part of the reason that they had to change the game script so much and not have those deep go balls anymore. They had already planned on QJ doing this different role because Mike was going to be our go ball guy, and now we just don't have a go ball guy. I don't care. It's working. It's working. Like, I love Mike Williams, and I'm really sad that he didn't get his reunion tour with us. But could you imagine not having Keenan on this team right now? Like it's such a natural connection with him and Herbert, and it feels so right. And the fans just we love him. He's arguably the greatest Chargers wide receiver of all time. Like he belongs here. I've worn a Keenan jersey 3 days, 3 games straight, and I'm not taking it off until we freaking are not missing a game day with it until we lose. Because it's just the story feels so right. I was the one that I got on discount on clearance on NFL Shop because he was no longer a Charger, and I bought that and I was like, I'm never wearing this jersey. I'm putting it up on the wall, and we're only wearing it after. I'm only putting it up on the wall after he retires or if he comes back. And he came back, so I started wearing the jersey. First game back, I was like, we have to do it. We beat the Chiefs. Then we beat the Raiders. Now, after this game beating the Broncos and that incredible play that he made, I'm wearing it every Sunday until we lose, boys and girls, because it just feels like home having him here. And so, welcome back, Keenan. I'm glad you're showing everybody why they were so wrong about you and your season that you had in that horrible Bears offense last year. So, welcome home, buddy. Um, the offensive line, obviously, Becton went out with the concussion. I really hope that he's okay and that he clears protocol quickly. The Pipkins injury as well. Injured, came back in, got poked in the eye or something. We got Austin Deculus snaps happening. It's not looking good. It's not looking good, boys and girls. But let's just hope and pray that everybody can clear through what they're working with, and everybody can go get back to full strength here sooner than later. I don't know how you rearrange this offensive line if things get bad. Like, do you do Salyer at right tackle with a week's worth of practice reps? Who plays right guard? Andre James? No, probably Bozeman. And then Andre James plays center. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't sound. None of it sounds good. None of it sounds like fun. Um, But we'll see either way. I mean, they're holding up. This was a ferocious Broncos pass rush. Um, Obviously, Joe Alt looked a little bit human for the first time today. Couldn't expect him to just allow zero pressures all year. But I mean, we got the win. We have a week to regroup. That's the most important thing. Regardless of what we do, I think the way that we've built out this offense, we've shown the ability to adjust. And that's the biggest thing. Like the offensive line, obviously, I wanted to play well. I can't keep seeing Justin Herbert get hit this much, but we've shown the ability to adjust. We've shown that we can get the running game going a little bit. We're showing that we're using the screen game. We're attacking the defenses in a different way than we did last year, which just felt so one dimensional. So I worry a little bit less about perfect offensive line play, but obviously I don't want to see our guys be out and hurt and Justin Herbert take more hits and put the more difficulty on the running game than we've already had. So I would hope that we can kind of get it bounced back and figured out pretty quickly. But I think we'll be okay, at least with our upcoming stretch of games, if we have to kind of finagle and move some things around. I do think that Joe Ortiz is probably going to be picking up the phone and seeing what he can do. I think the running back position and offensive line positions are obviously both incredibly thin now, and we need to do something about that. But I'll put that in his hands and just hope for the best and enjoy and soak up this victory for today. Um, yeah, defense. Let's talk a little bit about the defense. I don't have too much to say about the defense today. I think overall they played well. I mean, they made the plays that they needed to. I will say the secondary got burnt and could have burnt us a lot more. Cortland Sutton was just running all over the place, and Nix couldn't hit him on a couple plays. I think one of those was Marvin Mims, but on the flea flicker, I think. But some of those, like he was just deep open. Like although he was taking terrible angles and misreading coverage. The fourth down was a bad one, but just serious misses. It lapses in judgment. It seemed like mental errors that allowed for huge busted coverages multiple times, and luckily they weren't all capitalized on. But definitely showed a little bit of weakness in that regard. That made me nervous for some of the better teams. Now, luckily, with the slate that we have over the next couple of weeks, versus towards what we're going to see at the end of the season, might have a little bit more leniency to figure some of that stuff out, but it definitely needs to be figured out. Definitely looked human today, but who looked inhuman today was Tony Jefferson. Like that man was everywhere. Second in tackles on the team. That pass breakup that probably should have been an interception that tipped Drill INT, where we didn't come down with it, someone else did. But just Tony Jefferson is rolling back the hands of time. He's for the most part in the right place at the right time. Couple obviously not perfect plays out there today. The secondary getting burned as bad as it did. Like he's part of the secondary, but he had definitely looked like the strongest piece back there today. Even he, who played well, and is so excellent in the run game. Some of the angles that he took and overcommitment, it wasn't perfect, wasn't ideal. Tony Jefferson is such a core piece to this defense now, out of nowhere, happened so quickly. And I expect him to be active on game day for quite some time because the way that he's been playing is absolutely fucking lights out. So, congrats to you, Tony. Appreciate you, Unk. Um, and then probably the biggest star of the show, and I probably should have led this more towards the top of the show just to give him the respect that he deserves, outside of Justin Herbert today, was Derwin James. Just 12 total tackles, 10 solo tackles, which I'm pretty sure second on the team was 3 solo tackles for what it's worth. 1 sack and 4 tackles for loss. The dude flew all over that field. All over that field. Like, this is. I don't think he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year, but this is Defensive Player of the Year type shit. Like, this is incredible football that Derwin's playing right now. Best safety in the league. Best, like, he's just a chess piece. I don't even know if you call him a safety anymore. He's just a chess piece. Who do you want him to match up against? He'll do it. Running backs cover him in the flat. Tight ends, he's big enough, strong enough, easily faster than most of them. Wide receivers, he can somehow keep up with and play deep. Like, he's just always in the right spot. I don't. the football IQ and the intensity that he plays with for being such like a loving, fun loving dude. And you see all the interviews with him, and he's just so happy to be part of the team and everything. But he's just such an elite player when he's out there on the field. He locks into a completely different zone and just ridiculous, ridiculous, ridiculous work. Like I remember his rookie year making all pro, and I was like, dude, Derwin's that guy. Was it his second year? I can't remember. Um, and then he kind of had his slump years and the injuries, and you were obviously worried that he wasn't ever going to return to that form. But this is the best version of Derwin James that we've seen right now. We are watching the best version of Derwin James that we've seen, and it's just phenomenal to see. Phenomenal work. Props to you, Mr. James. Defensive line played well overall. I'll be honest, I was a little bit of a hater on the defensive line rotation concept that we all kicked around through the offseason. Like, at the end of the day, only so many of them are starting at any given time. Like, top tier talent does matter. I was appreciative of the depth, don't get me wrong. But now, the way that we're rotating these guys in and out, everybody's getting theirs. Everybody's playing extremely well. They seem fresh out there at all times. We're getting great push. Our run game defense is okay through the middle. It's pretty solid overall. The edges are struggling without Khalil Mack, and that's incredibly evident. But overall, man, the push that we're getting from Tart, the mean streak, I really appreciate in him. Jamari Caldwell is continuing to improve every single week. Naquan Jones is filling in well. Like the Aboigbe had a couple plays, but I think he was mostly playing on the edge today. Like good, good defensive rotation. Like it's working. It's working, and I had no faith in it whatsoever. I thought we would be okay, but I definitely thought it was going to be a little bit of an Achilles heel for us right now, and it hasn't been. It just hasn't. They're matching up with anybody. They're taking advantage of all their opportunities. They're all playing like they've got something to say about it. Like they're all playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, um, and it's so nice to see after it being such a weakness for so many years. Having that intensity coming up through the middle, both from the pass rush side and the run support side, and I think it's going to get stronger as the season goes on because of how much depth we have up there and because of some of the younger guys that are up front. And so, thrilled to see it. Thrilled to see it. So, hats off to the team. Hats off to the Gusto for staying strong through what ended up being an incredibly difficult trials and tribulations throughout this 60 minutes of football. Greg Roman, so much props to you for adapting and pivoting this team as much as you have from last season to now. Dealing with adversity and the way we've been able to kind of tackle it with some of the injuries that we've had. We'll see what this rushing attack looks like moving forward. With this offensive line woes and now Najee gone as well. Hopefully we can keep Hampton fresh. Hopefully there's someone that we can get into that room to round things out a little bit. Um, yeah, props to Jim Harbaugh and the way that he's really taking the charging culture out of this team. Like we were a team known for snatching defeat out of the cause of victory. And we're the opposite now. Like we're that team that can go in and win close games. Breaking people's back, breaking people's hopes and dreams. Like Broncos Twitter is a freaking mess today. And most of it just comes down to holy shit, we don't have a Justin Herbert on our team. And it's not just Broncos fans, like Dolphins fans, like eating their hearts out. Like it brings me so much joy. And I'm sorry it's at your guys' pain, the expense of yourselves. But I'm so glad that he's the quarterback for my team and not someone else. So yeah, I mean, there's probably a couple things I missed. The Darius Davis fumble we didn't really touch on, but I'm just excited. I'm just so excited after this win. We go to the Giants next week. We'll see which quarterback we end up playing. But you look at every other game on this schedule, and every single game looks like it's something we can win, and that's the hope that we have for Justin Herbert and this team. Like that's what he gives us, and so I hope that he gets his flowers from national media the way he's continued to this year. Um, can't wait to host a playoff game come winter, and maybe get him an MVP. But either way, thrilled. Let's just take one victory at a time, not get ahead of ourselves. But I appreciate y'all tuning in. Go Bolts! Huge freaking week. 3-0 in the division, 2 games ahead of everybody. Let's go, boys and girls. Have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. If you guys like what you heard, please feel free to give me a like and subscribe. Helps me a ton. Also helps you guys stay up to date on all new content as I'm releasing it. If you're not already on my YouTube channel, feel free to hop on over at Nature's Calls Pod. Also on Spotify under Nature's Calls Podcast. Or if you like to consume your content just by scrolling, go ahead and give me a follow on Twitter at Erdman Chargers. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Talk to you real soon.